All right, welcome everybody to episode number 6 of the We Talk in New York podcast. With me, as always, is Bryan. And Bryan, I wanted to talk about something real quick with you. I feel like every time we say something on one of our podcasts, the exact opposite happens the next day or the next 2 days later. We said on the last podcast that the Mets should sign, or not should sign. We brought up the idea of Cody Bellinger being signed by the Mets and how that would work. And 2 or 3 days later, he gets signed to the Cubs. So I thought that was a funny little tidbit that I guess was on the back of my mind leading up to this episode. So why don't you give us the contract details on that?
Dude was running out of time. This is a typical Scott Boras move. Honestly. Like, I don't even know. If I think about, right, there are a couple of guys that come there are a couple of guys that come to mind particularly. So like Prince Fielder, he was a Boras guy. He didn't sign until significantly late into the offseason, pretty much like where we're at now. He probably signed mid-February when he signed his deal with the Tigers. Scherzer, when he signed with the Nationals, didn't sign until February. Like, I get what Squat. Hey, Squat. I get what Boris is trying to do, but at what point is it like screwing over your clients, you know? But yeah, so Bellinger, this is a good deal for him. I mean, 80 million over 3. Um, 1 year, 30 million. Then he can opt into a second year, also for 30 million before opting. So like, there's an opt out after each year, right? So year one is valued. So it's essentially for the Cubs. It's a 1 year deal for 30 million. For Bellinger, it's a 1 year deal for 30 million. If he goes out and performs um, as well as he did this year, then maybe that could translate into something a little bit longer term. Um, coming off of 2 or 3 years where he really wasn't great, I could see why teams were a little bit hesitant to go any longer. But I don't know. I feel like some of these moves, and tell me what you think, but I feel like these are moves the Mets could do. Like, there's no such thing as a bad 1 year deal. Why didn't you just go offer the dude like 1 year?
I think he probably because he maybe wanted like 2 or 3. And yeah, but I think this was a move that the Mets could have made. And when we talked about it, on camera, off camera, I was talking about it, or not talking about, but I was thinking about it to myself, and I thought like Cody Bellinger to the Mets sounded pretty nice. And I think maybe other like Met fans would have agreed to have a player like him at that of his caliber that probably would have fit nicely in our lineup. Given that the Mets have been kind of on fire right now in spring training, but it is spring training.
Always
Um,
in spring training, fire.
yeah. So, but it's still nice to see them like winning games early now and like just kind of figure out what's going to happen for the season. So yeah, I think the Mets probably missed out on this signing with Bellinger. And I guess the Yankees as well, if they even need it, but it didn't really seem like the Yankees need him in their lineup. They're pretty much, I think they're pretty much set for the season if everyone stays healthy during this training. But I think the Mets still need to get that pitcher we talked about last week. Still waiting to hear what's going on with Blake Snell. That kind of news has fell off in the past week. Um, we said Montgomery doesn't really seem there's any talks about that, but saw there was a report the other day that the Mets still want to sign another person. Um, didn't really clarify on who, but I don't know. So who do you think the Mets should sign? Should they sign a position player or should they sign a pitcher? I mean, obviously we should be signing pitchers, but because, our pitching is not that good. But if there was someone you wanted like right now, who would you take?
Someone I wanted right now, like I could have anybody that I wanted, or
No, like someone available,
available. Like I didn't
Yeah.
know if you meant like trade.
No,
Um,
available.
well, I was actually, before we got on, I was reading an article that the Mets were in on like Julio Tyron before
Mhm.
he signed a couple of days ago. So just thinking about that portion of the market, um, Lorenzen's available. Um, I'm trying to even I don't even know who else is on the market right now. Honestly, Michael Lorenzen. there's a lot of guys that you could take kind of like flyers on, I guess. I would say if they're gonna go out and just make a deal, then what about I still like Montgomery, but I wouldn't go more. I'm not signing Blake Snell. Like unless it's a 1 year deal straight up, I'm just not doing it. I don't like Blake Snell. Like I'm just not
Yeah.
a fan. But
Yeah, it's tough because it's like he's like still available. Like that's why we keep talking about him. Like this is the third podcast in a row that we're talking about him, and it's just because he's still available, and that it's the talks where you wonder what the Mets are gonna do, and we know the Yankees still had that offer out for him. We talked about that last week. So it depends on where he wants to go and who's it wants to pay the man. And yeah, I know we talked about Montgomery. It's just that we talk about the same thing just because it's like what can the Mets do right now? There's not really they missed out on a lot of people. In my opinion, I feel like they missed out on a lot of people they could have probably signed that would have been a nice little diamond in your roster and or even not even a diamond, but just something that has value to it that will help your on a game to game basis. Um, they missed out, and these are really just the guys that are still available, and we don't, clearly we're not a huge fan of them. So I think the Mets, if you're gonna sign somebody, sign somebody. If you're not, then kind of come out and say that you're not. Say you're
yeah,
happy with the roster you have.
yeah, I think that well why don't we start with this, right? Why do you think Blake Snell is still a free agent? Because
I
most
mean, I want to say medically, but it's probably not medically. He's healthy, right?
yeah, he's fine. Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
he's
unless
fine. So
but it's because nobody wants to give him what he's asking for because what he's
yeah,
asking for is dumb.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
People
I
know. The
think
scouts know.
yeah,
They
they
watch his
do.
games.
They do. They do. They definitely do. I think I really like Michael Lorenzen. He's just like I mean, I want Montgomery, obviously. I just think Montgomery would be great, even as like a piece. The whole thing with the Mets is like, oh, we're building for 2025. All right, so give him a 2 year. I don't know if he would take it, but give him like a 2 year deal for 60 million or 2 years and 66 million, and yeah, it's 33 million a year for a guy that's kind of been inconsistent too. So like, how can you talk shit about Snell but not talk shit about Montgomery? Like, I get that, but I just don't like. I'm just biased, honestly. I don't like Blake Snell at all.
I think most Mets fans. I don't mean to interrupt you if you were continuing, but I think just most Mets fans are like, no, don't sign Snell. But then as soon as if they did sign him, they'd be like, all right, let's see what he does. Let's see if he's worth the money that Steve Cohen gives him.
I would I would go on record and say I'd be like upset.
Yeah.
And like, hey, listen, if he pitched really well, then shit, I'm wrong. I would admit that 100%.
Okay, that's fair.
Um, I was big on like you want to hear like I was really excited when they signed Michael Kadire. I don't know why. I just always liked
So
Michael
random.
Kadire. And then my fucking moment where I was like, "Fuck this," was like Michael Kadire looking at three straight fastballs in the playoffs to end the fucking inning. Um, and like I was big on Cespedes too when they re-signed him for the second time. I was like, "Damn, this is great!" Like they're committing money, they're bringing in pieces. This is awesome. It backfired. Um, so I have no problem admitting I'm wrong. I really don't, especially when it comes to like a player not working out. But unless you're giving Snell, I don't give him. I don't. I'd give him 3 years max, 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 max 3 years. Ideally, it's like a 2 year deal with an opt out. Like maybe he pitches so well and the Mets suck so bad that they just flip him at the deadline and get a prospect, and then he goes and whatever. Like I don't know. I don't. I just don't like him.
Yeah, I don't really know who's even still interested in him. I don't even know if the New York teams are still interested in him. They might even
Oh,
be fully out on him. We don't even know because there's just
yeah,
nothing coming out on him right now. I think he's probably just sitting at home, just watching some spring training baseball and just hoping for his agent to get him a contract.
I I think it ends up boiling down to probably the Giants. I think I've been seeing that a lot recently. It makes a lot of sense for like Matt Chapman
Yeah,
because
those West Coast guys like to stay on the West Coast.
yeah, like Matt Chapman, for example, he's one of the other Boris guys. Like came up with the A's, familiarity with Bob Melvin, the manager there, Farhan Zaidi, the GM or president of baseball ops, like they're super familiar with him. Like I could see him like continuing to play, or excuse me, wanting to continue to play in the Bay Area. Um, and maybe like Boris works out a thing. Like, hey, listen, like you can get both of these guys. Yeah, it's going to cost you money, but like maybe like you give Snell the AAV he wants, and we'll give you an opt out or something. Like do like a 2-for-1 kind of deal, and they get the third baseman and they get the pitcher or something.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think the Mets do need pitching, honestly. Like,
At this point, they should just sign somebody, like, or no, not somebody. I'm saying, at this point, I'm hoping like the same thing happened with the Yamamoto stuff, where I'm like, I just want it to end. I mean, it's not the same press and PR, whatever, but this is like where it's now gonna go, and I feel like I see it on my feed every day. So it's like, well, just bro, just take the money somewhere. Like, don't stop stressing, stop worrying about it. Just give the fans what they want. They want a contract for whoever team you go to, just so they can stop seeing your name in the news.
yeah, no, I agree. I'm right now. I actually pulled up the list of like remaining free agents. I'm just trying to sift through the pitching real quick because I'm just genuinely curious to be honest with you. Um, but while I kind of sift through this here, you want to hear something crazy? So I don't know if you saw it, but the Blue Jays played the Yankees today or tonight or whatever it was.
Yeah,
Vogelbach hit a shot off Garrett Cole. I don't think I've ever seen Vogelbach hit a ball this far before in my entire life,
of
or in
course
his
he just has
entire.
to start hitting baseballs.
Yeah, off Garrett Cole. I was like, my guy, Jesus Christ, take it easy, save some.
Eight
I
to
was gonna say,
four right now.
I was gonna say something inappropriate, but I'm not gonna say it because my father-in-law listens to this. But nonetheless, I was gonna say save some something for the rest of us, but I'll just leave it.
Homers hit it right. Hmm. Jesus.
Pitchers, starting pitchers.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
I don't really know how many starting pitchers are left. That's the problem, and it it, it really just comes down to the Mets want to give somebody that's not Blake Snell. Like, do they want to spend money on somebody that they're not sure about just to spend money? You know what I mean?
no, I agree. I agree. Um,
I think it would be wasteful. I think you should really like evaluate these guys. I mean, you also have the draft just like mid-season, which is still weird in my opinion. I don't know why they do that, but
um,
yeah.
you know who I really like before we kind of move off the Mets. So the Tampa Bay Rays have a really, really young. Well, I don't know if he's really, really young anymore, but they got a lefty down there in Tampa, Shane McClanahan. Oh my
Oh
God,
yeah,
when
I
that
remember
dude's
that.
healthy, he's filthy.
Yeah, he's
It's like
disgusting.
here's what I'm thinking, right? So I know the Rays are kind of like in that win now mode as they usually are, but what? Here, I'll ask you this, right? What position in the Rays infield did they think that they had set for the next 12 years?
What position?
Yeah, shortstop. I'll answer it
Okay,
for you.
who they
Wander
had?
Frank. They had
Oh,
Wander
Franco.
Franco on that massive extension, right?
Yeah,
So if you're the Mets, right? Follow me on this.
I'm following you.
Trade Jet Williams in a package to Tampa for McClanahan. Yes, he's recovering from Tommy John surgery, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. If he's still gonna have a bright future after the surgery, we've
And
seen
get
pitchers come out that either are really good and then just kind of fall off towards the end.
yeah, and then in the offseason just re-sign Scherzer.
You really want Scherzer back though?
No, 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 no. But guess who is a free agent though? Shane Bieber.
Is he worth the money though?
No, I don't know, 3-year deal. I'm a big guy.
3 year
I'm big,
maybe.
dude. I'm big on these 3-year deals, man. The
I know
first
you are.
year, the first year is so that you can shit the bed getting used to New York. The second year is that so you can win the Cy Young, and the third year you're old and decrepit, and we're just paying you the extra year.
Sounds like Verlander.
and Scherzer,
I mean,
both of which
I
are
like
hurt.
Shane Bieber.
I like him a lot. I do.
He was pretty good with the Guardians, right? That's who he's on right now.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, he's pretty decent
You ever like you ever look at a trade and just think, why didn't the Mets do that? Like that Corbin
because they're
that
stupid.
Corbin well yeah, but that Corbin Burns trade, there's no reason why the Mets couldn't have done that. Unless the Brewers were like, yo, fuck you, David Stearns. We're not trading with you at all. Except, Adrian Hauser. But I'm wondering if the Brewers are like, no, we're not gonna help this fucking guy after he's wanted to leave for 3 years to go work with Cohen.
I'm surprised the Mets haven't traded Brandon Nimmo yet. Not that I want him traded. I don't want him traded, but I remember his name last year was just coming up all the time. Surprised
Yeah,
they
but
haven't
then
packaged him with something.
I don't know, they gave him an 8-year deal.
Yeah.
I like him. I like
No, I
Nimmo.
like him too. I like him too. I'm not saying that because I don't like him or anything. I just remember hearing his name all the time, and then like that just randomly popped in my head for some reason. There's just so many players on the Mets. I'm just like, oh, I remember hearing you in the trade talk, and here you are starting fucking position playing for us, everyday player. I don't know, but we'll see what the Mets do. I doubt.
I can't
Honestly, I'm not expecting them to do anything at all.
I can't
Just
hold my mic like you hold yours. It's a little weird if I hold mine like this.
just gotta take the stand off, homie. I started doing that for you when we first got it. That I was like, I don't think he wants it off.
Yeah, but then I feel weird. It's so thick. I don't know. It just makes me feel a little opposite of what I am. Anyway, moving on. Um, I don't know.
So, all right. So why
It's
don't we
all
move on to the Islanders getting us a little excited? They beat Dallas in overtime. That was a big win.
yes,
Insane
sir.
shit by Barzy in overtime. Couldn't believe they actually won that game. The game was good itself. But beating a Dallas team that's having a really good year this year is a huge win all around. And then you move on to Detroit and you win that game. And you, first off, scoring your first empty net goal in 59 games is not, is, I don't even want to say it's embarrassing. It's just stupid. It is just so dumb that you didn't have any chance, or you probably did have chances, but like the fact that it took you 59 games to score an empty net goal is hilarious. But that was just a huge win. Just getting those points, especially against those two teams, and Detroit's just like red hot right now. Um, Getting those 2 points to help you get into the lead or get you closer to that third spot in the Metro. With the Flyers actually losing at the time of this recording, they had a 2-0 lead. They're now losing 3-2. So Caps helping out the Islanders tonight, even though the Caps are trying to move their way up. Um, but yeah, the Islanders look pretty decent lately. I mean, they're still like they'll have a lead and then give up the lead right away, like type of shit. So they need to figure that out. But they have the Bruins tomorrow night. I will be in attendance at that game. Excited for it. Hopefully the fans come out. Tickets are a little expensive, but hopefully the fans figure it out and come out and support the Islanders as they try to get like a third win in a row here. But
Yeah,
I'm trying not to get my hopes up, and I don't know if you are either, because like it's the Islanders, they can all of a sudden just fall off again, and then we're like, oh, no playoffs, and then win the next game, and they're like playoffs, whatever. But they'll have a they'll have a better chance of getting into that third spot in the Metro than they will in the wild card because that I think the Atlantic Division, like meaning Tampa and Detroit, are probably gonna run the wild card. They're just both those teams are just like just getting red hot right at the right time. Just too many points. They're gonna have to catch the Flyers, and the Flyers are banged up. Like the Flyers are injured really badly. Um, so they're gonna have to catch up to the Flyers. So, but in the other side of New York, I don't know if you saw, but this whole thing with Matt Rempe, he's sick. He's so tall, but his jersey is in the window at the NHL store. So that's I don't know. I don't want to say it's a huge accomplishment because it's like your jersey's in the store, but the fact that I feel like I'm comparing it to like when Tommy DeVito started for the Giants. This is
Ugh.
like that same thing. It's like you see him in the media, he's fighting. He had that gigantic black eye in I think that was his what, left eye. Um he had that gigantic black eye. It looked like he couldn't even see. And they still had this dude practicing. He probably should take a rest for a game, but like why?
Is he a rookie
Yeah, like
or
he just came up from the AHL. His first game was the Stadium Series game.
oh, cool.
Yeah, so mad respect to Matt Martin for his fight too, but like this guy is just insane. I can't like all the press that the Rangers are getting, and not besides the fact that they got they're the first team to get to 40 wins. I mean,
They're killing
it's
it.
yeah, they're dominating. Like it's crazy how good they are. They're figuring it out like right at the right time where you could take this tremendous lead in the Metro right now, maybe the entire league, because now you have the Jets who are like kind of falling off a little bit. Yeah, the Panthers are still playing great hockey, but you have to catch up to them. Um, but yeah, like the Rangers are just killing it. Like still, nothing to complain about. I mean, they're just playing games. They're coming back. They're winning games, being dominant. It doesn't matter. You can say whatever you want about them, but if you say something bad about them, you're probably wrong.
Yeah, can you imagine how like intimidating it must be for like a guy to come up from the lower levels of the AHL or wherever he originated from and be like, all right, so you're going to be in New York. You're going to be on one of, if not the hottest team in hockey right now. Literally, they're on fire. And by the way, like, you're going to play. Like,
Your
he's
first
got to
game
be
is gonna
like,
be an outdoor game.
yeah, literally, he's got to be like, fuck, I got to do something here to um, like, you got to do something, right? So the fact that, you said he's like fighting and getting black eyes and punching people around and stuff. Like that's good. Like, hey, you gotta like, especially like who was the guy? I'm trying to think. It was a guy. Um, I'm gonna think about it, and I don't remember. I don't. Let me just hang on a second. Was it?
Well, to continue like off your point here that he's fighting and stuff, he's like a perfect replacement for Ryan Reeves that they had, if not better. I don't know if he's really like a scoring type of dude, not that much of a veteran, but like replacing his fighting ability and stuff is a huge step because Ryan Reeves was that guy. He was that hitter, he was that fighter. But
Yeah, I'm trying to think. There was this guy, right? And he, I believe it was the Yankees. And I know we're I'm jumping sports here, but the point I was trying to make is he got called up one year. I think it was '98. He got called up to like play. Obviously, the Yankees had that incredible year in 1998. The dude hit like 15 home runs in like a month as like a rookie. Like when you're on a team that's like a winning team with championship expectations, you have to come in and like not only earn your playing time, obviously, because they're doing something right. They don't need you to be there, but like you have to like earn the respect of like the veterans. So like, what better way to do that than to start beating the shit out of people and scoring goals and helping the team win? That's awesome. Good for him.
yeah, good for Matt Rempe. Stay continue doing what you're doing, bro. Um, I guess New York's proud of you. You're the next Tommy DeVito.
I don't know if that's a compliment though. I just
Yeah, we know how you feel.
you're
But
the next.
I know we're a New York topic here, a New York podcast here, whatever. I don't know if you saw this, but the Winnipeg Jets, they are one of the best teams in the league right now, but they are struggling to get people in the doors. So their ticket sales have like dropped like a lot, and
Okay.
they aren't able to get people like just think about like if the Islanders were good every single night or even the Rangers get people obviously even if
Well,
they're losing. But
they're just
so
not
like
pulling.
they're not pulling people even though they're good. So the whole thing is that Winnipeg is a smaller city. You know, the economy's not great up there, so sometimes tickets are too expensive. But
Okay.
it's crazy because like, they're getting maybe 60% filled, and even on the weekend games, and this team is really good this year. So,
Okay.
the question brought up again, this is
Is
kinda
it
what happened when Winnipeg used to be like, they used to have a team before they moved and relocated. So, now it's like they're doing the same thing that happened back then. Now the question is, are they gonna have to relocate again? And Gary Bettman, the commissioner of the NHL, is um, very forward about keeping that team there. Like, he doesn't want them to move, but he basically told the fans to get over their anxieties and come to the game, which out of context it sounds harsh and
no? I
not
mean,
brutal, but
not
then
really.
if you actually like read what he was talking about, it's not. It's him saying it like as like a joke, really. Um, but I think I just want to bring that up because I thought this was a crazy thing. That's like your team is good, but you can't come to the games, unfortunately. You know.
So just clarify this for me real quick. So Winnipeg, there was a team there.
Yes.
They didn't pull, so they moved.
Yes.
Then there was either a team that didn't pull somewhere else
Yes.
or Atlanta, right?
Yeah, they had the Atlanta Thrashers.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, see, I fucking knew it. I fucking
Yeah.
knew it. Look at that. So they went and moved back to Winnipeg to fill to like be the team again. And now they're not pulling again.
Yeah, so what happened was the original Winnipeg Jets,
Um,
they moved to Phoenix. So now, which are
uh,
now the Arizona Coyotes.
and they don't pull either.
Yeah, that's a whole different situation I'll bring up in a second. Um, they moved to as the Coyotes. The Thrashers were introduced as a new team. That team was just not really good and had terrible ownership. You can watch like there's a whole documentary about that team. Like, it's not really a documentary, but it's like a YouTube video basically on YouTube about explaining what happened, why, and it's just bad ownership, not marketing it good, and the team was just terrible. They had one good year that they made the playoffs, and that was it. So they pulled them out of Atlanta to go back to Winnipeg, and every game was sold out from the year that they moved on to like probably like last year, maybe this year too. Um, so now the thought is, what do we do there? But like I said, the NHL is very forward on keeping them there. Now you brought up Arizona. Will the Arizona Coyotes move? No, just because apparently they have a possibility of a like new land purchase. That's what it said. New land purchase up like closer to I think the Scottsdale or Phoenix area or something. I forgot where it was, but they have a new arena coming soon, which is good because they should not be playing a college barn anymore. It's ridiculous. But like again, Gary Bettman's very forward, for lack of a better word, um, very forward for him for Arizona to stay in Arizona. And I honestly like it because I think Arizona is a cool team, and I don't see why they should move them. So it is what it is. But yeah, I thought that was a little hockey nugget that I thought was interesting that happened this week.
Nice. Yeah, I saw something the other day, maybe last week or 2 weeks ago. The commissioner was saying that Atlanta could potentially be a expansion city. Do you see that?
Atlanta.
Atlanta. Yeah.
Yeah,
He said
yeah, they're
I forget what was in Atlanta, why he was there or talking about it or something, and he was like, "Yeah, like I wouldn't rule it out
there's a
under the right
junior
circumstances."
hockey team there called the Gladiators that is, like, kinda doing well, so, like, there was thoughts, but, like, there's been, talks of other cities putting in their bids for new NHL teams, but it's kinda hard because, like, the divisions are kinda all even now, and you have 32, so you kinda, possibly have to add, like, 2 teams, which, like, I don't
Yeah,
know. Maybe you might not have to. I don't know. It depends on the divisions and how they would work, and then how to get the like geographical
realignment.
work.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
I
that
got you.
stuff.
I got you.
But the team that's kind of the city that's in the running right now to get an expansion team is Salt Lake City in
Oh,
Utah.
dude, they're in on everything right now.
Yeah, like that owner, he put in a bid to get a team there, but he said he would build an arena for the coming Utah hockey team and the basketball team that's already there, the Utah Jazz. So it would be able to fit both
Both.
teams. You probably save so much money because you're not
Yeah.
running two arenas,
Yep.
and you have both teams in the same facility, which you could see in other cities. It always works great,
Yeah.
especially with marketing and promo nights.
I wonder if that's the same dude that's in on trying to get an MLB team there.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not
Because
sure.
they Nashville, I was reading a thing about expansions in the MLB,
Yeah,
and some of the cities are just dumb. Like why? Like Orlando is on the list. Why would you put a team in Orlando when the Marlins and the Rays both have? I know the Rays don't have a brand new stadium yet. Don't shit on me, but they have the plan for it.
yeah.
But they don't pull. They pull probably just like you were referring to with Winnipeg. Like they're 60% full in a fucking like playoff series. Like, what the fuck are you doing down there,
Was
Tampa?
it the
Like
new stadium in Tampa like not going to be in the city of Tampa
I think it's
again?
in St. Pete, or one of like
So
those
it's
surrounding areas. But
yeah, that was stupid.
it,
But also, I think it's dumb to even put a team in Orlando. It's,
but
it's
that's the
that
thing.
much.
Then there's East Coast, West Coast, and then there's one north in the middle. But what makes you think that's gonna pull? Like that was dumb. I think the Carolinas were kind of dumb too because it's like, oh, we'll put one in Raleigh or put one in Charleston. Like, why? Why? I mean, I get why, but why? But like the Nashville, that would be dope for
The
baseball because they
Nashville
already
one would
have.
work.
Yeah, because the Predators are good, aren't they? Aren't the
Yeah,
Predators like fairly decent?
yeah, they
And
love their sports there.
what is it? The Titans, right?
Yeah, the
Tennessee
Tennessee
Titans. They're
Titans.
there. That would be huge. And then you could put Salt Lake City because like they'd want to do the two-team expansion. So you do 30, you go up to 32 teams. You put the other one in Salt Lake City, who clearly wants an NHL team. So they're going to start trying to become a bigger like sports market. It
I
kind of
guess you
makes
have
sense.
like a geographical rival right there. If you had a baseball team in Utah and a baseball team in Tennessee, Nashville and Salt Lake City, really.
Yeah.
Um, you have like, I mean, I guess that is that. Are they close to each other? I don't even know. I don't even know
I
where
don't.
you is,
I
but
think it's like.
it just sounds like a rivalry.
I mean, I feel like it would be because they're two expansion league teams that join at the same time. That'd be pretty dope, actually.
Yeah. Well, going back to the Tampa thing in the Orlando, having an Orlando team is kind of stupid in my opinion because it's like you have
Garbage.
Orlando. So this side of Florida, that's like west side of Orlando, is probably going to merge a little bit with Tampa Bay baseball. Then you have the entire north side of Orlando and up that are probably going towards the Braves, right? Would you agree?
Probably.
Like, and maybe some are merging to Tampa to stay within the state, but it's just how it works that like you have it's like New York, Northern New Jersey are probably Ranger fans. No, sorry. Northern New Jersey are probably um, Jets and Giants fans, and Southern Jersey are
Eagles.
Eagles
Eagles.
fans.
Yeah.
It's just how that works,
Yeah.
even if they're
I
not
rem-
even in the same state.
yeah, I remember where like my dad used to live. We used to go to like the Jersey Shore all the time over the summer. So he'd be like, we would shoot the shit about this. He'd be like, it's really interesting because he was like Central Jersey, like I guess not like Central. I don't know. I guess it's like kind of Central
Yeah, it's
maybe.
a little more north central.
And he'd be like, all right, listen, like count. He's like, because I would say like, yo, who the fuck do these people root for? Like, there's nothing here. Like, how do you have nothing here? And he's like, just look. He was like, it's weird because you'll see like two Met hats, two Yankee hats, and then a Phillies hat. He was like, but if we go to Atlantic City, which I get Atlantic City is more like a touristy kind of thing. He was like, but if you like look at the people that live there, it's probably like three Phillies hats and then a Mets hat and Yankees hat. Like it's weird how like that geographical switch, depending on where you are, just determines the kind of team that you're
Yeah,
into. But Florida just they don't need another baseball team. Not right
no,
now. They're not
absolutely
at all.
not.
They're
No,
not
let's
at
get
all.
some of
Yeah.
these new cities, new states. Let's get some of them.
Yeah.
Get
Not
some
Memphis. Not Memphis.
baseball, hockey, whatever.
Nope.
And
No.
honestly, you're not even gonna see football get an expansion team anytime soon.
No. No.
And
No. Memphis though. Memphis doesn't need a team.
And then they have the basketball team.
Yeah, no.
That's about it.
They have the Memphis Cardinals. That's a cool little stadium actually. I liked it there.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a little bit of anything else that happened this week. Um, I don't
Well,
think it's not too much, right?
no, I don't think so. But
It was it was a slow
I
week.
do have. If you wanna, I don't know how wild this is gonna be, but Anthony texted me and I told him we were doing a podcast. So he sent me a Snapchat video and he said, "This is pure Isles." I don't know if you want to hear it and then comment.
Absolutely not. You can. Why don't you listen to it yourself and then tell me?
Nah, come on, you got to hear it. I haven't opened it. How
Okay.
bad can it be? How bad can it be? Let me phone volume up.
It's crazy how we could win without Scott Mayfield in their lineup. And I mean, Elias Sorokin, we know hasn't been playing at like Elias Sorokin level, but when he has like a defense that knows what they're doing in front of him, he's able to back them up enough so that Matthew Barzell, Bo Horvat, all these weapons that we have that we can use are able to be valued. Like as much as I want to like hate on Barzell and all of them, that pass to win against
This
Dallas
is taking too long.
was perfectly placed. But Horvat is a great shooter, and it's crazy how you get rid
It's
of
an open
Scott
net.
Mayfield and we win.
We
So
win.
clearly there's a problem there.
All right, I'm over this. If this goes
Yeah.
another video,
All
we're
right.
done.
Turn it off. Well, the first comment, you hate Barzell, but then you said he has makes a good pass. That was fucking stupid. So thank you for that. And then obviously, if the defense plays well, the goal is going to be good. That tends to happen in games.
kind of.
um, I mean, I guess yeah. When you don't have Scott Mayfield, when taking 10 penalties a game, you're gonna have success. But that's also we're still taking penalties though, so it didn't really make a difference. Difference.
Oh,
Holy crap! Still going through
all right.
puberty. You know?
Yeah, whatever. All right, so I got two fun facts for you. So I thought about this last week after we hung up. Well, actually, after we stopped recording, and I was like, "Fuck, that's what I wanted to talk about." So last week on Friday was Mets legend Kelly Johnson's birthday. So Kelly Johnson, the Mets actually traded for him twice. So he became the first. There we go. I got two facts that go into this, right? He was the first player in MLB history to be traded from a team to another team in the same order in two consecutive seasons. So what do I mean by that? So going into 2015, he signed with the Braves, right? Played half a season with the Braves and was traded to the Mets at the deadline with Juan Uribe. Mets make their run, go to the World Series to fucking blow it as usual. Johnson goes to free agency. He re-signs with the Braves. 2016, Mets are coming up on the trade deadline. They trade for him again. So he's the first player to be traded from a team. He was to be traded between the same, like, traded by one team to another team in two consecutive seasons. So the Mets traded for him twice consecutively. But the reason why I bring up his birthday a week late, so happy birthday, Kelly Johnson, is because dude hit 14 home runs in his two half seasons. I guess the full season, right? 2.5 years. So in his one like full season as a Met, he hit 14 home runs, 6 of which either tied the game or gave the Mets the lead.
Wow.
Clutch. I
It,
liked
it
him.
does
I
sound
liked
clutch.
him a lot. And then I saw this other fact today. It's about two New York legends, right? So in Mariano Rivera's career. Now I don't know if this is accurate or not because I feel like this inning total doesn't look right, but let's just go with it. 1,283 innings pitched, 1,173 strikeouts, 998 hits allowed. Nolan Ryan, after turning 40 years old, did better than Mariano Rivera in Mariano Rivera's entire career. So after turning 40, Nolan Ryan threw 1,271 innings with 1,437 strikeouts with 933 hits allowed. Apparently. I don't know if that's accurate, but I saw it and I thought, wow, that'd be a fun tidbit to include here.
I mean, Mariano. Wow.
Spit it out.
Mariano Rivera was obviously one of the greatest relief pitchers of all time, closers, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, having that is pretty dope. Pretty dope.
Yeah. 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 So
Yeah, that's all I got today. Honestly, I don't. Oh, did you see this shit with Fanatics again? The owner, the CEO, whatever, fucking came out talking about how they were given something or given shit, and now they're getting their ass kicked for it. Well, you made fucking shit jerseys. But you know what
yeah,
I've been
they're
seeing though? I've been seeing
garbage.
Fanatics ads like on my Twitter, Instagram, whatever, and like it's like you hate to hate them because they actually like there's some things that they had that are like actually real and authenticated,
Yeah.
and it's like then if you can have this real shit, how you fuck? Oh, sorry, I'm going completely off the rails with the authenticated shit. But to finish that point was, how do you have authenticated shit, and still fuck up the MLB jerseys? But
I don't know.
now to
Maybe they
transition to that,
well they should
did you
just
see the
stay
thing with
out
the
of the
Royals?
jerseys.
Yeah, did you see the thing with the
They should
Royals?
the Royals, no.
So apparently, the Royals still have the big letters.
How the fuck they fucked that up?
No, they didn't fuck it up. The Royals, like, apparently they fought very, very hard to keep the name tags the way they are because
Really?
they claim that it's supposed to be a better way for their fans to like be involved and be able to see their names. So they fought, and they're the only team right now that fought to keep those numbers. So now people are
Yeah.
calling out for the other teams to do the exact same thing.
Yeah, I agree. Because the jerseys look like shit. And honestly, if anyone bought a jersey not realizing that, I mean, and by all means, if you like it, then shit, that's your prerogative. But if you bought the jersey and you fucking hate it, Fanatics should replace every jersey that looks like shit with either some sort of store credit or one with the normal numbers and letters on it if they're going to go and fix it. But, you know, I
Yeah,
have a
there
thing
should be
about
some kind of
Fanatics too when he's
compensation.
done. Yeah, I agree. Did so I was watching I was on TikTok the other day and I saw this video from shut up, don't fucking shake your head at me, little
No,
bitch.
no, I'm not sorry, I'm not shaking your
I
head at
was like,
you.
what the fuck? I
I'm
was like, what the
looking at
fuck did I
the
do to you?
I'm looking at the Fanatics website as you were talking because I wanted to see if like you could tell if the numbers are smaller, and you can. It is clear as day
They look like
that
shit.
unlike like any jerseys that you look at, it's like you see an old Piazza jersey and then you see the current Mets blues with the Mets across the chest. That the number and name are smaller than the one next to it. It's like if you were buying a jersey, please double check the name and how big it is because if you don't like it, God forbid, like Fanatics does not compensate you for it or anything. Because then they also have like the old jerseys on here that you can get the normal names on it. But like I just don't recommend buying any of these jerseys unless it's a City Connect jersey and they're
So
nice.
if I go to City Field to buy a jersey, right? I'm getting the Fanatics one, correct?
I mean, I guess they're the manufacturer, right?
Well, I think here I guess this is what my advice could be as someone who like has a couple of jerseys and um especially has like purchased them in the past. Go buy it in person.
Yeah. So at least then you could see it.
Yeah, yeah. So you know exactly what you're getting. I know for me, like I bought my black Piazza jersey online, but that was because I knew exactly what I was getting because it was an exact relaunch.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Go and like and what's really cool about it is like I know Modell's doesn't exist anymore, but like I remember when like I don't know,
Oh,
maybe when I grew
Jesus.
Dude, when I graduated high school, my grandma was like, "Hey, listen, what do you want? Like, I'm gonna get you something for graduation. What do you want?" I was like, "Oh, I'd really like a Mets jersey." And she's like, "All right, let's go to Modell's, right?" So we go, and there were so many different ones available. It was great, and like I had graduated obviously right after Memorial Day and right before 4th of July. So the Mets dropped like those. Remember the camo jerseys?
Yeah, I think so.
I have it in the closet. I'm not gonna move all this shit, but they had like a David Wright camo jersey, and I was like, like I thought it was the coolest thing. I think it's ugly as shit now, but back then I was like, yo, this is so cool. So like I got a David Wright camo jersey, but that's not something I would have seen had I not been at the store, like grabbing from the inventory that they had.
Yeah.
Uh,
You'll see these other websites, these fake websites that probably will make the numbers and letters the same size as they were.
yeah, they should. Like AliExpress is gonna make bank right now. I'm not. Is it AliExpress? AliExpress. I think it is.
DHgate too.
Yeah, all of those. They're gonna make bank right now. But you know what I wanted to mention about Fanatics too, real quick, before I forget. So I was watching TikTok to not to revert back, but I was watching TikTok before, and I saw this thing about the. So it's. I think they're exclusive to Fanatics, but what they did is they started. I saw it. It was like I saw like a Kraken video. By the way, the Seattle Kraken logo is fire.
Yeah, it's sick. It's like I think it's off the newspaper there, that logo.
Oh,
Fun fact.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's sick. I fucking love it.
Looks pretty similar. I don't know which. I mean, I'm assuming the newspaper logo came first, but
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was like the exact same. Maybe it's just like the city
yeah,
emblem. But continue.
it's sick. But anyway, so what these NHL teams are doing now, because like, well, I saw it with the Kraken first, but like, I guess because the arenas are so like multi-dimensional, like concerts and comedians and like all this other shit. When they have to break the ice down, instead of like breaking it down, I guess fully, they're like melting it and they're filling up these clear pucks with like um arena water. Does that make sense?
Arena- Yeah,
So
no,
I
I saw that too. I saw that. They're like
so
filling it
I,
up with like melted ice.
so I bought one.
You bought one?
I bought an Islanders one. Yeah. So they
Oh,
had two.
Islanders one?
I bought an Islanders one. So they had I didn't buy a fucking Kraken one.
I didn't know the
Oh,
Islanders had some shit like.
they
Oh, 'cause
did.
it's
So
Fanatics.
they have they have so it comes in like a box, right? I think I have a picture of it. I didn't buy I got it obviously it didn't come yet. So it comes in like this case, right? Like this. And
Oh, that's what those are.
so they have like stadium series ice ones if you wanted to do that.
Yeah.
They have specific games where like the ice was used. I saw like Isles Rangers ice or whatever. Um, I don't know. This just says New York Islanders Fanatics authentic crystal puck filled with home ice from 2023-2024 season. Um, so I thought it was like I'm all for I don't usually spend a lot of money on like merch unless or memorabilia rather. So like it's got to have some sort of significance to me. Um, oh shit! I unplugged my mic. Hang on. So better. All right. So like yeah, I don't really usually spend a lot of money on like decor or like memorabilia. Like I know I have some shit, but like I've accumulated that over a long period of time. But it's got to have some sort of like uniqueness or like significance. Like I don't know. I thought that was something that was like a little bit um different, weird, definitely weird. But hey, fuck it, you know.
Hey, it's melted ice. It's just water in a
Yeah,
puck.
yeah,
How much?
you know,
How much was that?
too much.
Too much?
If I say it on here, my wife will murder me.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Starts with a 4.
Oh my god. I hope it's not the number. Is it triple or double?
Double. Come on.
Okay, well, that's not that bad.
No. Then it has a 9. And then a decimal place and 2 more 9s. Plus taxes and fees.
Thank you for telling us how taxes work.
You're welcome. So,
Alright, well,
no.
basically, moral of the story: fuck fanatics, fuck you, Blake Snell, sign somewhere already.
And fuck
uh,
Kyle Palmieri.
for
I
no
still don't
reason,
like
I
him.
guess,
I
but yeah, you
still don't
just
like.
don't
No, you know why I don't like Palmieri.
like him. Oh, you know what? Actually, sorry, I don't want us to actually like just sign off, but um, we got the NHL Trade Deadline coming up. Do you have any predictions what the Islanders might do, and what the Rangers might do?
I think the
Maybe
Rangers should like.
that's next Friday, March 8th.
I mean, I think the Rangers should just fucking go for it. And if there's an opportunity out there, then shit. I saw a rumor that they. So I don't know. I'm not going to say they might, but I saw a rumor that they would potentially consider trading Shesterkin.
I don't know if that was any truth to it, but I did see that Zibanejad may be considered for a move. I don't know what. It depends who will fit. I don't think they'll trade him if he's playing okay. It just depends how it. I think it depends on who offers the best for him and whoever else. So, in all honesty, I think the Rangers should just stand pat and just wait and see what other teams do. But you also have to be not I don't want to say defensive, but you have to be proactive to see what the teams around you are gonna do. Because you also do have to compete. So, I don't. We'll see what the Rangers do. I just saw something today. It was probably some BS account that said that Zibanejad could be moved. But that was really the only person from the Rangers I saw. Um, but yeah, don't think the Rangers should trade anybody. Just stay where you are. Stay what you're doing. Don't mess up that mojo in that locker room right now.
Yeah,
Uh, for the Islanders, you still need some pieces. I think you should, if you are fully going in thinking you are going to make the playoffs this year, then you need to add people. You need to add people. You need to get contracts off your plate as well. So the Islanders are going to have a lot of work to do. I am so scared that they are just going to sit there and trade for nobody because every fucking year they always do that. They always like just wait. Last year they got Horvat. I'll give them that. But
yeah,
it
but they
just
got
feels like
Horvat like
yeah.
a month before the deadline, didn't they?
No, it was like a couple weeks, like maybe 2 weeks, maybe.
Okay,
But like, just like they always just either stand pat when we needed somebody, but I think they should probably sign Eberle, and or sign. They should trade for Eberle, and not just be like this is probably gonna be a dumb take, but I think he will be. I think he would benefit being on that line as another wing on the top line with another wing. Yes, he's not having like a all-star career in Seattle right now this season, but you never know. Maybe a return back to Long Island could just give him some kind of boost and start playing better. Them not protecting him when the expansion draft was going on was probably the dumbest fucking move the Islanders made. So trading Eberle would probably be fun. Trading for Eberle, but the question is, who do you give them? I don't know. Does Seattle want to stay younger, or do they want a veteran like him in that on that line? In my opinion, they should go young. I think if the Islanders were to trade for Jordan Eberle from Seattle, give him one of your prospects. Give him somebody maybe that's at least second line or third line caliber right now that they can develop later on. Not even like develop or it depends. It's like it's really hard. Like it's you know if you got to give him somebody that's equal value. That's what I'm trying to say. Give him something equal value that's either could be right now or at least next year if they're not going to make the playoffs this year. You know.
fair enough.
Also, the rumors of Anders Lee being traded. I was one of them. I had my who do we trade Anders Lee for? Dude, I don't know. Like, I don't fucking care. Trading for a bag of pucks. I just fucking hate him. He's been playing. I'll admit he's been playing better lately, but like I've been saying, and all like a lot of people I know all like noticed it before everybody else did. That I was saying first that he's not good. He just gets into battles all the time when he says it's like he panics. You know, so who the fuck cares? Trade him for a washing machine. I don't really care. Um, and then
Damn.
that's, I don't really know who else. I mean, you're not going to trade as much as people hate Mayfield. You're not going to get him off the books because you just signed him. You just signed him to a new contract. I'm pretty sure he has a no trade clause as well in that contract right now. You're not getting him off the books. So sorry, House fans. He's staying here as much as you hate it. He's staying. I'll be shocked if they somebody wants him. But yeah, that's kind of it. I think you have to move Martin. That's so. I know I made the joke about moving Anders Lee for a bag of pucks, washing machine, whatever. But someone that actually you could trade for like absolutely nothing. They needed somebody like Arizona or just any team that needs like a heavy fighter type of player. Just get him off that fourth line. I'm sorry, like I love Martin as a person, but like, and as I will always cherish the memories I have as him as a player. But if he gets traded, I'm honestly going to be happy about that because him on that fourth line, he's just not. It's just not it anymore. That fourth line is not what it used to be back in the days. As what Butch Gordon used to call it, the EMC equals MC squared line. It's just not the same. Given Clutterbuck has kind of picked it up, McLean is like that good fourth line right now. That is like he's that young guy that's like another Zizekas kind of. So you need to hold on to him. But Martin, I think that's a good like future considerations type of trade. But that was really it. That's all I saw that was kind of in the talks of getting traded. Besides Brock Nelson, that's a bigger situation. Brock Nelson being talked in the trades. Honestly, I hate it. If you can get someone good, like equal to him or better, then fine, do the trade. But if you're not gonna do the trade, then don't do the trade and don't let him get hot. He is like red hot right now. I think he has like 2 goals in the last 3 games, and that's what you want. You want him to be that sneaky goal scorer that is able to get those 2 goals in 3 games or 3 goals in 3 games or whatever, that point per game type of player. And then you have that line of Barzy, Horvat, and Nelson was working so good in the last. I think they played the last 2 games together. So I think you have to, if you want to make a push for the playoffs, you have to keep those 3 guys together. And I apologize, I'm going on this long rant, but this is what the trade deadline is. This is what's going on. So to wrap it up, those are the guys that may be dealt, or we'll see who comes. There's a lot of people that are being talked about possibly being traded. Probably after the deadline, we'll have a little recap show to talk about who got moved, who didn't got moved, whatever. But for the Islanders, really consider who you're going to move and why, who you're going to move them for. And if you're the Rangers, then I just don't move anybody. In my opinion, don't move anybody. If you move Zibanejad, fine, but figure out who can replace him, who can replace that speed, who can replace. I believe like he's a little bit clutch. So figure out who you're going to move him for. If you're not going to move him, don't move anybody else. Then keep that mojo going. I know the Rangers are banged up a little bit, but there's no reason to make a trade, basically.
Well,
So
that's what
that's
I
all.
was gonna. Well, that's what I was gonna say too. I even know, it'll happen in baseball all the time, right? Where like, um, I don't know, someone gets traded, like say theoretically the Red Sox make a massive trade, and the Yankees are like, fuck, now we got to do something. That's literally the absolute worst approach you could take. Especially as an organization that's in first place. Just think about the Brewers from a few years ago. They were killing it. They got to the deadline, and then the Padres swooped in, grabbed Hader, and the Brewers were just like, "What the fuck did you just do? Like, why the fuck did you do that?" And it just wrecked the clubhouse culture entirely. It created a
Yeah,
disconnect and a loss of trust between them and the front office. Like the worst thing you could do is make a knee jerk transaction. I
yeah,
think you really have to think about trades, especially at this point in the year, with is it going to help us or on paper will it help us, but also then fuck up the clubhouse camaraderie between what we have. So that's super important. You have to really keep that in mind when trying to win too. Either you subtract a piece that's super integral to the clubhouse or the locker room, and then versus bringing in somebody who could be toxic and almost cancerous for the clubhouse. That's why knee-jerk reactions and decisions are really not. They don't work. They never work. It always backfires in some capacity. So I think, like you were saying before, for the Rangers, don't do something just for the fuck of it. Like, seriously consider if any sort of addition is actually going to make a difference. And if you really don't think it is, then just don't do it. Just stay put.
Yeah, no, exactly. So yeah, I guess that's your trade preview of who might get dealt, who might not get dealt, and who they're going to be dealt for. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for that. But yeah, I think that's pretty much what all I got for you today. Is there anything else you got for me?
Islanders should trade back for Okposo.
No.
Okposo? Okposo? What the fuck is his name?
Okposo.
Yeah, bring him back.
Fortunately, no.
Bring him back.
No.
Him,
He's ending his career in Buffalo.
Him for Lee, 1-for-1.
The value is not valuing.
And Buffalo wings.
All right, fine. I'll give in to
Buffalo wings for
our dumb takes.
Buffalo.
Okposo for Anders Lee, a dozen bagels,
No.
and a gift card to Buffalo Wild Wings.
No. I want mild buffalo sauce because I don't like hot. Boneless wings. And Okposo for Anders Lee. And some of those blue and orange bagels that when you eat them and then you go to the bathroom the next day, it comes out like it looks like you ate a Crayola crown, like the green one.
Oh my god.
That's what I thought.
Well,
That's a fair trade.
a dozen bagels.
Yeah, maybe some bacon, egg, and cheese.
We talking.
Yeah, we talking New York here.
All right, well, make sure to follow us on all our socials, Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever.
MySpace.
TikTok, MySpace, AIM, Facebook, Pinterest, Instacart, Vine, Snapchat. Follow us on everything.
OnlyFans.
Just kidding. Follow us, follow us on just follow us everywhere. Follow our lives. Stalk
You're
us.
making this so complicated.
I know. Actually, though, X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Make sure you subscribe on that. We Talkin NY on everything.
Talking.
Talking without the G.
We talk
Hate
in
that
New
commercial.
York.
I hate that thing. So yeah, thank you all for tuning in to episode 6. Crazy that we've been 6 episodes.
Can't wait for episode 9.
You're done, Zoe. You're done. Any last words?
He's cooked. Go to the bullpen.
That's your final word?
I guess so. Fuck it.
Good night, everybody.